Indoor air quality requirements are covered in ASHRAE Standard 62.1. This standard spells out minimum ventilation rates for new construction, as well as information on improving indoor air quality in existing buildings. It also provides lists of maximum contaminant levels for those spaces to maintain acceptable indoor quality. This is all about minimizing the potential for adverse health effects on building occupants. ASHRAE Standard 62.1 is specific and comprehensive, covering indoor air quality with controlled ventilation. Briefly, here are the requirements. Under ventilation, calculate outdoor airflow rates in breathing zones, determine air distribution effectiveness, and determine outdoor airflow zone requirements at diffusers. Air distribution includes standards for exhaust duct location, outdoor air intake, and combustion air. On airstream surfaces, the standard deals with mold growth resistance and erosion resistance. And there's more dealing with contaminant capture, including particulate matter removal through filtration, monitoring gas concentration, and heat exchanger and fin tube coil cleaning. This standard also covers system moisture management, including dehumidification systems, drain pans, and humidifiers and water spray systems. And finally, building envelope moisture management, including weather-resistive barriers, vapor retarders, and air barriers. Humidity has an impact on the design of HVAC systems for cooling. Sensible and latent loads must be calculated to right-size the air conditioning system. First, sensible loads account for temperature changes only, without regard to moisture content. Latent loads take water vapor, moisture in the air, into consideration. And humidity ratios are just that, measurements of the percentage of moisture content in the air. It's important to remember that geographic location determines the humidity ratio. Here are 4 cities as examples. Miami has a hot and humid environment with a lot of moisture that needs to be removed from occupied spaces. Now, Phoenix and Miami can have similar air temperatures, but Phoenix has a dry heat with very little humidity. Even cities within the same state can have different climates. For example, in Texas, Amarillo has the same climate as Phoenix with the same dry heat. But Houston's hot and humid climate is similar to Miami's. So the humidity ratios for Amarillo and Phoenix are similar, and Houston and Miami's humidity ratios are similar as well. ASHRAE Standard 62.1 covers air classification and recirculation. Under this standard, air quality must be evaluated for contaminant concentration, sensory irritation intensity, and odor offensiveness. There are 4 classifications, 1, 2, and 3 for low, moderate, and significant levels of contaminants, and 4 for highly objectionable or harmful air quality. This chart shows just a few examples, ranging from a break room with Air Class 1 through a chemical storage area with Air Class 4. Airstreams, air that flows through exhaust ducts, are classified separately. Here are 2 examples. There are special goals for attached parking garages. The goal here is to limit vehicle exhaust from entering into other occupied spaces in the building. Vehicles are entering and leaving frequently, and sometimes running for extended periods of time. The standard recommends that air pressure in the garage be maintained at or below the pressure in adjacent space, so there's no pressure differential that draws exhaust gases into the building. Airtight vestibules should be used to separate the garage from the adjacent occupied space. Good design should isolate the garage to minimize any air exchange between it and the rest of the building. While we're on the topic of airborne contaminants, here's a list of some of the most common. Moisture. You may not think of this as a contaminant, but moisture can create an atmosphere for the growth and generation of bioaerosols, such as bioorganisms and mold. Pollen can be a serious contaminant. Then there are gaseous contaminants. For example, ammonia, carbon monoxide, and carbon dioxide. VOCs, volatile organic compounds, is another category, and many types of particulates. There are guidelines for environmental emissions offered by the EPA, especially on the subject of air pollution due to product emissions. And the Green Guard Environmental Institute certifies products for indoor air quality performance. Look for their certification on components you choose for your buildings. GreenGuard tests and evaluates products in accredited environmental chambers, testing for formaldehyde and other aldehydes, volatile organic compounds, VOCs, and respirable particles, in addition to ozone, carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxide, and other gases. CertainTeed fiberglass insulation products are GreenGuard certified to contribute a very low level of pollutants to the indoor environment.